At guard, 6'2" from Southwest Missouri State, number 12, Winston Garland. At the other guard, 6'5" from Temple, number 1, Mark Macon. At forward, 6'10" from Houston, number 33, Greg Cadillac Anderson. At forward, 6'7" from Georgetown, number 34, Reggie Williams. And at center, 7'2" from Georgetown, number 55, Dikembe Mutombo. The Nuggets trainers Jim Gillen, assistant coaches Judas Prada, Tim Boyle, and Mike Evans. For the head coach of your Nuggets, Paul Westhead. Joe Wolf is not.
Paul Westhead brings his Denver Nuggets in tonight, having snapped the 3-game losing streak with a victory against the Boston Celtics. Let's take a look at the Midwest standings. The Nuggets right now even with the Dallas Mavericks, a record of 11-16 going into tonight's game, and actually you don't really have to dial long distance to the top, and the Utah Jazz. As far as the Atlantic is concerned, the Philadelphia 76ers, last year a 44-game winner, they are the same amount of games away from the top of the division as the Nuggets are in the Midwest. Let's take a look at the matchups, brought to you by Phil Long Ford, the value store with value pricing. And once again, who matches up against Charles Barkley? And it will be 6'7", 195 pounds, Reggie Williams, who gives up about 50 pounds to Barkley. That's the way they'll start it, going to Williams in lieu of the power forward Cadillac Anderson.
Yeah, the Nuggets coaching staff hoping that Williams' quickness will negate some of Barkley's quickness around the basket, but look for Mutombo to get over quickly and help Reggie out on Barkley.
This is the third game of a 6-game trip on the road for the 76ers. They won in Indiana and they lost Saturday in Los Angeles against the Clippers, and Armin Gilliam, who packs a lot of power himself inside, opens the scoring. And on the other end, it's Barkley who is guarding Williams. Mutombo gets the double team and he finds Anderson open and he misses the shot. Anderson got a quick tee against Boston the other night, and he thought he might have been fouled there. Hawkins walks right by Macon but overshoots. The referees confer, and it will be Philadelphia ball. The Nuggets got some bad news. They will be out without the services of Joe Wolf tonight. So the only other big man on the bench now is Anthony Cook, who has yet to play in the 3 games of this homestand. Joe Wolf, right calf muscle sprain. He had an excellent game against Boston. Johnny Dawkins lets it fly. And in the crowd, Mutombo tips it to Williams. He is on the run. Macon takes it to the hoop and walks right in. Charles Barkley just backing up and opening it up for Mark Macon.
And Mark picks right up where he left off against Boston. Trash that perimeter jump shot. Take the ball to the basket.
Macon knows this one is being televised back to Philadelphia, where he, of course, starred. An All-American out of Temple. Winston Garland, one of the young sung heroes on this Nugget team, gets the foul.
Johnny Dawkins had a terrible game against the Nuggets in Philadelphia, shooting only 1 of 13.
He sets up Gilliam. Williams knocks it away from Shackelford, who has taken a lot of heat from Charles Barkley. Shackelford's side after playing last year in Italy, and just not doing it for the Sixers in the middle. Very inconsistent. That's on his better nights. 7 on the shot clock. What a move by Mutombo, but he can't complete it. He left Shackelford glued to the floor. 2 minutes into the first period, and it is Dawkins, wound up in the air and in desperation put it in. Williams sets, swish. Reggie Williams is averaging a shade over 17 points per ball game.
And Al, you hit on the key to Reggie Williams when you said he sets. When Reggie has a chance to get his feet together, look at the basket, he's as good a shooter from the perimeter as there is in this league.
Barkley decides not to go on Williams. Hersey Hawkins slapped away by Macon. Garland takes it 3-on-1. Garland gets it ahead, but Dawkins wisely fouled Garland.
Yeah, that's a smart play by Johnny Dawkins. He realized that Macon and probably a couple of other Nuggets were in front of him, and so he took the foul. Right here, the quick hands of Mark Macon, smacking it away from Hersey Hawkins, and you see Macon is in front of the crowd, and right there the foul by Dawkins to keep the Nuggets from the easy layup.
Rebound Hersey Hawkins, and now it is Dawkins on the run. Last year missed most of the season because of a knee injury, certainly affecting his lethal quickness. Macon double team, so he finds Garland open. Williams for three. And Shackelford gets upstairs for that rebound. We're tied at 4. Charles Barkley is yet to take a shot. Gilliam was wide open, and the pass was thrown away, and that has Lynham off the bench. Jimmy Lynham, the coach of the 76ers, couldn't believe it.
Well, Hersey Hawkins got in a hurry after he saw the wide open Gilliam, and he really didn't need to. Gilliam was about 30 feet ahead of the nearest defender.
Kind of reminds you of this play. Not a defender near Dikembe Mutombo, and he smacks in his first hoop.
Al, I think one of the problems with Charles Shackelford is they list him at 6'11". If he's 6'11", I'm 7'7", like Manute Bol. I think he's going to have a very difficult time at his size guarding legitimate centers in this league.
Dawkins, there's the release. And Anderson fights for the rebound. Throws it out to Macon and Williams, but they can't hold on. Back the other way, it is Dawkins. Sets it up to Barkley, looking for his first shot of the night. And Mutombo and Anderson right with him. They call the foul on Mutombo, but Dan, earlier on the Sports Talk show, you were talking about Mutombo has to help out on Barkley.
Yeah, I don't think there's any question about that, but that time Dikembe having to go out on the floor and pick up Charles initially, and of course when Barkley saw that, his eyes lit up and he took Dikembe straight to the basket. We talked about Charles Barkley leading the NBA in field goal percentage at 61%. His free throw percentage isn't much higher. Barkley shooting only 69% from the free throw line.
And the percentage inches closer to 70% after he makes those two, and he ties the game up at 6 apiece. We played nearly 4 minutes. Williams isolated on Barkley. Macon pitches it off to Garland. Got it. And give Macon an assist. With all the points and rebounds he had against Boston. The other night he also had a pro high of 5 assists in the ball game.
And that was a pretty play, Al. He passed up the jumper, drew the defense away from Garland, and got him the open shot.
And that's a shot that completely ticks off at Charles Barkley. Gilliam taking a quick shot. Mutombo rushes the first one and takes care of business on the second.
And I think that you'll see the 76ers really start to slow the pace down. If they get in a running match with the Nuggets here in Denver, this will be a short basketball game.
Diving for it is Macon. It's a 3-on-1. Behind the back, getting a little too tricky. And now it's a 4-on-2 the other way. Shackelford blows it. Mutombo, no foul on Barkley. He was all over him. The Nuggets running again. It is Macon, baseline, left-hander. Mutombo follows. Anderson looking for it. And the Nuggets have piling up missed layups here in the opening minutes. They could be up by 12. Barkley doesn't miss a layup. Gets his possession using the body, and instead it's only a 2-point Nugget lead.
Charles had the layup. He was looking for the 3-point play as he started to go under the basket and then jumped back into Cadillac trying to draw the foul.
Some of the young Nugget players getting very anxious when they are underneath all alone. Philly now a chance to tie it. Hawkins. Macon fights his own man. Here the Nuggets coming back the other way. Williams puts a stop to the run. Nuggets certainly getting their shots. I think Williams was so wide open, he was surprised nobody came out to get him. The 76ers just
seeing it up from the field so far. 76ers shooting 30%. The Nuggets not a whole lot better at 38.
But I bet Paul Westhead's a little more pleased about his team's play than Jimmy Lynham. Mark Macon from 20. Shackelford almost tips it in for the Nuggets. Sixers a chance to tie it.
Once again, the graphic people were right, and I was wrong. It was 36% for the Nuggets.
6 minutes to go in the first quarter. Barkley takes the nice pass, but he's stuffed. And a foul is called.
Well, we saw Larry Bird last Saturday night get a couple of calls that only superstars get, and I think you're going to see the same thing here as Barkley goes up to the basket, and up top it looks pretty clean. We'll take another look from a different angle and see if Anderson and Mutombo don't get an awful lot of basketball.
Well, Charles Barkley knows already that when he does go to the hoop, that Mutombo and Anderson will be there. He is now 3 for 3 from the foul line. Barkley, 28 years old. In his 8th season in the NBA, All-Pro each of the last 4 years. Nuggets will try to bait Barkley to take the outside shot, but you know he's not going to live by that. Tied up at 10, 5.5 to go. And Anderson on the mismatch against Hersey Hawkins and give the assist to Dikembe Mutombo.
And you know, Dikembe is not panicking when he gets that double team, Al. That time the 76ers ran an extra man at him. Dikembe just held the ball up in the air looking for the open man, and when he found Anderson under the basket, a little flick of the wrist, and he had the assist.
76ers are trying to free up Hawkins. They want to get him going, and he gets his first field goal. The top 20 in the league in scoring at 21 points a game. Hawkins, who had 24 against the Nuggets in Philadelphia, he was the top scorer for the Sixers in that encounter. Once again, Mutombo finds the open man, run down by Reggie Williams. He slithers along the baseline. There's Mutombo, and he puts it away.
Charles Shackelford better start putting a body against Dikembe, or Mutombo is going to wind up with about 15 offensive rebounds tonight. He hasn't been much of a force in stopping Dikembe.
Nuggets with a 2-point lead. Hawkins. And Ed Rush makes the call inside. It's against Macon. Mark Macon gets his first personal foul. Jimmy Lynam will make one change. Their 6th man, Ron Anderson, a scorer coming off the bench, has checked in. And as Hawkins goes to the line, let's go to our big man off the bench, Scott Hastings, who is joining us once again by popular demand. Hiya, Scott.
Hi guys. How you doing over there? Al, you're exactly right. We're going to try to double team Barkley as much as we can on the post, make him shoot the outside jumper. I talked to some of the guys on the Philadelphia team before the game. What exactly is wrong with this team? Why aren't they doing better in the standings? A lot of them are really disgruntled with the play of Charles Shackelford and the way Dikembe's killing him on the boards. You can see why.
Well, Charles Barkley has made his famous quote by saying, "I don't ever want to steal money from the Sixers, but I've played with guys who need a mask to go pick up their checks," and he's including some of the players on this current team. 1-point lead for the Nuggets. Marcus Liberty is checked in. Once again, Nuggets without Joe Wolf, strained calf muscle. Here's a steal by Hawkins. Ron Anderson has replaced Armand Gilliam. Shackelford remains in there. We haven't seen Manute Bol yet. Hawkins off the dribble. 4 minutes left in the first. The Sixers with a basket here could take the lead. Hawkins, of course, very dangerous from 3-point land. Misses on that one. Garland got the step on Anderson and pulled off the bench. Marcus Liberty.
And what a great play by Winston Garland. He makes a penetration down the lane. Barkley comes to help out. He kicks open over to the wide open Marcus Liberty, and Liberty gets his first shot to go.
Liberty getting some early playing time here.
Well, I would think that Marcus Liberty is going to get the minutes that Joe Wolf has normally been getting out.
Macon again takes it strong to the hoop and will wind up at the foul line.
Well, as he started to do in the Boston game, has continued to do so far tonight. Mark Macon going strong to the hoop, and Charles Shackelford can only reach up and foul him. Walt Davis will be coming into the game.
Macon took 14 foul shots against the Celtics. Only Dikembe Mutombo with 17 in one game has been there more for a Nugget this year. The only problem, he only made 8 of those. And tonight he starts off on fire from the foul line, making the 2. And the Nuggets lead climbs to 5.
And because of that 8 for 14 percentage, Mark must have been practicing yesterday at shoot around, because those 2 were perfect.
3:10 on the clock, first quarter. Johnny Dawkins quarterbacking into the hands of Hersey Hawkins, the dangerous man from the outside. 2 on the shot clock, the force by Dawkins, and he is on the money. He has now scored as many points as he did all game against the Nuggets in Philadelphia, 4. Garland takes a look. He's gone the distance here in the first quarter. Williams calling for the ball against Anderson. 9 on the shot clock. Williams has nothing, and the shot clock's now down to 5. Williams better make it happen. And the tip by Mutombo. Sixers wave it off, but the officials do not. So it's an 8-point first quarter for Mutombo. And he leaves again. Shackelford nailed to the floor.
And he's got 7 rebounds. I bet at least 3, maybe 4 offensive.
Marcus Liberty slaps it away. Barkley now against Mutombo. And the finger roll by Sir Charles, and he has a quiet 8 points. And now a 20-second timeout is called by the Nuggets coach, Paul Westhead, nursing a 3-point lead over Jimmy Latch up tonight.
Dawkins penetrates to the middle, takes it right to Shackelford, and Dikembe throws it away. But you're going to see Charles Barkley come away with the offensive rebound, and watch him go up and then reach around Mutombo and kiss it off the glass for 2.
Well, Jim Lynam trying to do something with the tempo of this game, and with 2 minutes to go in the first quarter has finally inserted 7'7" Manute Bol, who has actually been seeing more playing time than the starter Charles Shackelford. So now it's Mutombo from Zaire against Bol from Sudan. There's one block. Liberty gets it over Bol.
And that wasn't a block, but it was as good as a block. He made Marcus change up.
And Liberty goes sky high to restrict Barkley. Garland walks in on Bol. Now Mutombo wisely passes it. Yes, it counts, and he is fouled. Williams plows in against Bol, and Bol didn't get that one.
Let's go all the way down to the other end and take a look at the block by Marcus Liberty. Sir Charles goes in. He thinks he's got a clean layup, and holy smokes, Liberty way up in the air. And then watch this, Reggie Williams. He has a unique knack of getting the shot away in all kinds of traffic underneath. He goes up against Bol, draws the foul, and hits the 3-point play. Using
his body against Manute. Reggie Williams is a foot shorter than Manute Bol, but they probably weigh the same amount. The Nuggets now by 6. This is Denver's biggest lead. Chris Jackson is in the lineup now for the Nuggets. Anderson, a quick gun off the bench, and Mutombo gets rebound number 8. Crazy 8s up there for Dikembe Mutombo. 8 rebounds and 8 points. Jackson, 1 minute left. Mutombo is going to go to work on Bol, and he gets it over him. And a big first quarter for Mutombo in double figures with 10.
And you're not going to see very many people be able to shoot the jump hook over Manute Bol, but that's exactly what Mutombo did.
Nuggets now by 8. Barkley with Liberty on him. Williams helping out, and the illegal defense is called against the Nuggets. Paul Westhead trying to figure out exactly where it was. He saw a double team on the ball.
Yeah, I don't think they called it on Reggie Williams. I thought the illegal defense was on Chris Jackson. He was the man that was off, kind of trying to guard 2 players at once with the double team taking place in the corner.
Mutombo gets a rest, 10 points, 8 rebounds in the first quarter. Cadillac Anderson goes in. We have 33 seconds left. Dawkins, hard drive. And with Mutombo out, Dawkins takes it right to the hoop. 25-19 in favor of the Nuggets. Chris Jackson, in the last 2 games, has played a total of 30 minutes and has scored 28 points. And he wants to take it on Dawkins. Instead, the pass to Williams. Wide open. Pulls the trigger. And he gets it back. Davis. Williams again. Still 4 seconds. Cadillac Anderson is stripped. And the Nuggets will have it with a shade under a second to go. And the crowd appreciating the hustle of the Denver Nuggets coming off a great win against the Celtics on Saturday night, trying to parlay that with a victory here against a sellout crowd. Anderson and Williams tips, but it doesn't count. It looked like it was good, but the referee said there's no way you're getting 2 shots off in 7/10 of a second. 1 period down, and the Nuggets are up from Reggie Williams, who has just 1 less. 7 boards by Reggie. I think he picked up 5 in the last 30 seconds.
Yeah, unfortunately, each one of those offensive rebounds counts as a shot, too, so he's just 2 for 9 from the field.
Nuggets start with the ball, leading by 6. Macon dishes it off to Jackson. The flick of the wrist. Swish. Chris Jackson picks up where he left off against the Celtics on Saturday night. Some dazzling moves by Chris Jackson. Nugget fans hoping a breakthrough game, seeing all the young players come together at once. Charles Barkley, with his back to the basket, spins it in, and he's in double figures with 10. And Marcus Liberty can only pound the ball hard and wonder.
Well, that's why in the NBA, Al, you always throw the ball up to the basket, no matter where the whistle blows or when. You throw it up there because you never know what might happen. And that time Barkley got a lucky roll, and one of the reasons he's shooting 61% from the floor.
Snatched in by Cadillac Anderson. The Nuggets by 6. They're trying for the 2-game sweep over the 76ers. Beat them in Philly 3 weeks ago, 98-88. Nuggets held Boston to 90 points on Saturday, and they held Philly to 19 in the first quarter tonight. Liberty, Ball rejects that one. Here comes Dawkins out. And Mitch Wiggins, remember him? Getting another chance with the Philadelphia 76ers coming off the bench. Wiggins in the past as a member of the Houston Rockets has really burned the Denver Nuggets. 4-point lead for Denver. We're in the first minute of play of the second quarter. Jackson walks by Dawkins, but then runs into Ball. Now it's Dawkins. Barkley with Macon back, and Macon fouls him, and they'll score the basket.
Yep.
A continuation. He never put the ball down, said Ed Rush.
You're absolutely right, and this was an intentional foul, but Mark Macon makes a big mistake. He didn't wrap up Barkley. You see, he goes and grabs him, but he doesn't stop him. There's no dribble after the foul. The fans here don't agree with the call, but that's continuation in the NBA.
And now Barkley starting to heat up. 13 points for Charles Barkley. And it's 6 straight for the 76ers, who have just moved to within 1. 13 now for Barkley. Davis and Anderson. Swish. Walt Davis with Ron Anderson right in his face. And the Nuggets lead it by 3.
And the Nuggets need for Walter Davis to heat up. He's been struggling ever since he came down with that Achilles tendon last time out against the Celtics. Just 3 of 14 from the field for Walter. That was a pretty jumper right there.
2 minutes in to the second quarter. They clear out. Barkley ducks between 2 Nuggets, and now Charles Barkley is taking charge. 15 for Barkley.
And that's how you counteract the double team, Al. You split it.
From the outside, nothing but net for Mark Macon, who comes off his pro high of 21. Charles Barkley starting to score the points with Dikembe Mutombo out of the lineup. And this time it's Dawkins, and all of a sudden the shooting percentage is on a rise. Mark Macon flying in. And it's 8 points now for Macon.
And that was an unbelievable shot, because at the last minute he switched it to his left hand and kissed it off the glass.
Anderson, who is a hired gun off the bench, and he gets fouled by Macon. Now that is the 3rd foul on Mark Macon. So Macon, a very aggressive player, and he's getting himself in foul trouble. Liberty comes out, and Mutombo now goes in, and we'll watch how that affects the scoring of Charles Barkley.
Very quickly, Reggie Williams up off the bench after this first Ron Anderson free throw. Mark Macon will be taking a seat.
Another good run by Macon here in the first half. He goes out with 8. Reggie Williams back in, making the 3-game homestand, has averaged 17 points per ball game. And the little guy checking in for the 76ers, Greg Grant, 5'7". This is his 4th team. He was recently released by Charlotte. Alan Bristow, who always coveted Greg Grant when Bristow and Doug Moe were here in Denver. And Bristow finally got him in Charlotte and released him. Jackson from afar. Cadillac Anderson, no. Minute with the stop, but the foul. Dikembe Mutombo is motorized to underneath.
And Dikembe's doing a great job getting to the offensive boards. With Shackelford, you can understand, but that time inside position on Manute Bol, and Bol with the block up top, but the contact with the body. And Dikembe will go to the free throw line for the first time this evening.
Trying to shake off the performance of the foul line in Boston. 2 of 8 from the line. Made his first and last shot in the 6 in a row. And he generally, he's had some nights like that, a little cold from the foul line. Generally comes back strong the next night. Jimmy Lynam, who coached at St. Joe's. His assistant there was Jim Boyle, Nuggets assistant. 1 of 2 for Mutombo, 11 points for Dikembe, along with 9 rebounds. There may be some big numbers out there tonight for the Nuggets rookie. Denver, though, just with a 2-point lead. Wiggins with a fake on Davis. And Mitch Wiggins showing that he is happy to get back to McNichols Arena. 6th time this game has been tied. Anderson almost threw it away. One part of the game that Cadillac has to concentrate on. 10 seconds on the shot clock. It's down to 5. Jackson. And now the Sixers can take the lead. Barkley leading the charge, picking up speed. Davis the other way. Refs didn't see that foul by Grant. Jackson over Bol, looking for the banker, but instead got foul number 3 on Manute Bol. And even with Bol there, the Nuggets continue to take it hard to the hoop.
And Chris Jackson gets hit right in the jaw, but this is the way you handle a shot blocker, Al. Manute kind of backing out of there, not wanting to pick up the 3rd personal foul, but you take a ball right to a shot blocker. You can't be tentative. The best place to shoot it is right in his face, and that's exactly what Chris did on that drive.
First rest for Barkley. Armin Gilliam is in. Chris Jackson, more playing time he gets, will eventually be in the leaderboard for foul shots. You saw he's up now over 90%. He had 26 in a row earlier in the season. And he puts the Nuggets up by 2 once again. Greg Grant out of Trenton State was a 2nd-round draft pick by Phoenix, and he gets room to get that shot off. Ties it up at 36. He's 5'7". That's what he's listed as. I guess with Muggsy Bogues in Charlotte, just couldn't afford a guy 5'7". Anderson with Gilliam. And here's another Anderson. Ahead of the field is Grant.
Well, as you said, the Philadelphia 76ers on a long road trip. This is their 3rd of 6. And they haven't been able to get Greg Grant's name on the back of his jersey yet. But he keeps playing like he has the last minute. And they'll find a way to get that name on there.
Anderson covered by Reggie Williams. 6 seconds to shoot. And a line drive jumper by Ron Anderson, who off the bench has led the Sixers on 3 occasions this year. He's averaging 14 a game. And the Nuggets with a good start right now on their heels.
I would think that what the Nuggets need to do is get the ball to Dikembe and let him go one-on-one against Manute Bol, who has the 2 personal fouls.
It's a 4-point lead for Philadelphia. They open the road trip Thursday with a...
He checks into the game, and Walter Davis will have a seat.
4th team foul on the Nuggets. 4:50 left in the first half. Lichty goes to work quickly defensively. The crowd around the basket. And Gilliam gets his second field goal, ties it at 42. Reggie Williams has to check the sideline. Lichty has not seen much playing time. Paul Westhead bringing him back from the knee injury very slowly. He played just 5 minutes Saturday against Boston. Now it's Shackelford and Garland who get tangled up. Garland stands right up to the 6'11", 245-pound center of the Sixers. And Shackelford is shackled with the foul, his second.
Winston wasn't backing down. You'll see him get hung up right there. Winston trying to set the pick, and some shoving and holding going on.
Winston also giving Shackelford a haircut.
Winston didn't run, though.
4:20 on the clock. They isolate now. Garland against the 5'7" Grant. They want to get it into Mutombo. Hard drive by Garland. Grant chops the ball away, and they call it on Garland. He gets number 3, perhaps a payback for that last incident.
Let's take another look at it. Watch his off arm.
Didn't see it.
No. But George Tolliver did, and that's foul number 3 on Winston.
And Grant squeezing through Shackelford. Anderson ripping it down with Gilliam, and they called the jump ball. Gilliam thought he had wrestled it away.
And I think the Nuggets would be content to let Charles Shackelford take a fall-away 12-foot jump shot against Dikembe all night long.
The two power forwards jump. Anderson gets it back to his center. Shackelford this time was back, doing a little refereeing on the way. Nuggets have out-rebounded the Sixers 28-16. And of the 28 rebounds, 22 by the front court. Mutombo with 10, Williams 7, Anderson has 5.
And the offensive rebounds, Al, why the Nuggets have got this game tied, even though they're just shooting 41% from the field. Mutombo. If the foul's against Shackelford, it's his 3rd. And that's exactly who gets it. And Charles not too thrilled with the call. Again, penetration by Winston. He drops it off to Mutombo. And Dikembe comes up about 6 inches short on the attempted dunk shot, but he does register personal foul number 3 on Charles Shackelford. Shackelford, who came out of North Carolina State a year early, played 2 years with the Nets, was a second-round draft pick, and went to Italy for a year. And Charles Barkley surmised, if the Nets didn't want him, why do we? That was his welcome to Charles Shackelford. But very honest, and I think the play of Shackelford is bearing out that statement by Charles Barkley. Well, I think some teams get enamored with some of the numbers that American ball players put up while playing in Europe, but particularly Italy. But the Italian league still no match for the NBA. Well, the Sixers stay within 1 of the Nuggets, with Barkley taking a nice rest, and he now comes on for the last 3 minutes along with Hersey Hawkins. Hawkins has been unable to get it going. With one hand, it's Barkley, and this is the setup for Shackelford. And the Sixers lead by 1. Jackson being hawked by Grant, who reaches in and fouls him. Greg Grant, foul number 1. He's got that speed wherever Jackson turns, there is Grant. Timeout has been taken. We duck under 3 minutes left. And the thing that they have done is they have heated up their shooting percentage. Remember, shooting barely over 30% early on, but they're up to 47% now, and they're starting to get some second shot opportunities themselves. After this one tonight, 76ers upcoming at Sacramento on Thursday, and Saturday at Seattle, Sunday at Portland. It's an 11-day trip, 6 games. It started the day after Christmas, December 26th, and won't get finished until next Sunday. This coming up, January 5th. Jackson now perfect 4 of 4 from the foul line. He has 6 points all in the second quarter. And the Nuggets leapfrog in front by 1 inside 3 minutes left in the first half. Gilliam in his position, and he draws the foul. Marcus Liberty was up on him, but I think they'll call the foul on Todd Lichty.
And that's exactly the case. Lichty gets his first personal foul, and Gilliam to the line. And while we watch Gilliam get set, let's go to Scott Hastings at his favorite spot under the basket.
Out there in the court, to be honest with you. Talk about offensively, we kind of got away from Mutombo. We haven't hit him with too many post plays, so watch the next time down the court, throwing the ball inside to Mutombo. Defensively, we felt we could take advantage of them running. They've been taking advantage of us running, so we need to slow their transition down a bit, and that's what they stressed this last time out.
Gilliam made the 1 or the 2, and the Nuggets give the ball back to the 76ers.
Well, Mutombo, an equal opportunity passer. That time both Lichty and Liberty were wide open, so he threw the ball between them.
Splitting the seams when you don't want to. And this will be against the Philadelphia 76ers. I believe Shackelford will have it, and it's number 4. So Shackelford will be leaving. Or check that, his 3rd personal foul.
Well, watch him try and set the screen after he hands off. That is a moving pick. And that is a textbook moving pick. Chris Jackson trying to fight over, but no need. The foul called on Shackelford.
So Shackelford leaves. Bol comes in. Mutombo goes right to him, and it's the 3rd personal foul on Manute Bol. The Nuggets may do away with the Philadelphia 76ers before the 4th quarter.
Well, I don't care if Manute Bol is 8'7". If he's going to let Mutombo catch the ball that close to the basket, he's going to have all kinds of problems. And now both centers with 3 personal fouls. It looks like they're going to stay with Manute. No, they're bringing Bol out. Ron Anderson checking in. And so that means that Armand Gilliam will probably be guarding Mutombo.
Gilliam, who certainly has the strength, but certainly not the height, gives away about 5 inches to Mutombo. So Dikembe comes back strong at the foul line. Hits those 2. 16 points and 10 rebounds for Mutombo here in the first half.
The only problem with that, Al, is that Dikembe is going to have to cover Armand down at this end.
Gotta rather have that matchup. Grabbed off by Williams. Here the Nuggets on the run. Todd Lichty gets the snap. And a patented Lichty reverse. The Nuggets now by 4 inside the final 2 minutes of the first half. Nuggets looking for their 10th victory at home this year against 6 defeats. Liberty, and he is on the run. Liberty dishes it off to Lichty, pulls the trigger a little bit too hard. Barkley skies for only his 4th rebound of the game. Nuggets opportunity to open up a 6-point bulge. 49-45 is the score. Now again, the Sixers slowing it down. Off the pick comes Hawkins. Williams, a 4-on-2. Lichty is there. 6 straight points for the Nuggets. Once tied at 45. The Nuggets now lead by those 6. 55 seconds to go in the first half, and it brings the crowd alive. They want to stop here. Hawkins, who has but 1 field goal, pushes Mutombo, and here the Nuggets on the run again. Liberty outruns Dawkins. I would have liked to see a continuation on that one. Only Julius Erving could have had a continuation that far from the basket and make it. Dawkins gets his 2nd.
Al, right now the Nuggets doing a great job in transition because of their weak bench. You know, the 76ers certainly don't want to get in a running game. And right now, because of the steals more than anything, the Nuggets have the transition game going.
And it sends Marcus Liberty to the line. Nuggets trying to put it together. His young club, even though the team comes into this game 5 games under the 500 mark. Paul Westhead trying to get some minutes. Almost impossible to get minutes for Marcus Liberty with the way Reggie Williams has been playing. And with Joe Wolf coming off the bench strong over the course of the last couple of weeks. But now with Wolf out tonight with a sprained calf muscle, Liberty getting a chance. Mutombo stays with it. Here's Liberty on the run. He's going, gone. Vegas Liberty beats everybody down. The Nuggets have now reeled off 9 straight points, and it's been over 2 minutes since the 76ers have scored.
And it's been almost that long since they got a shot to the basket. A lot of steals and block shots by the Nuggets, and they have been off to the races.
Working for the last shot. Dawkins one-on-one on Jackson, and he forces. And the Nuggets will have the ball with about 2 seconds to go. 9 straight points for the Nuggets to close out this first half. To break open a tie ball game. Denver will have to take it from the back court. Liberty looking. Here's Lichty, lets it fly. And Todd Lichty finding out that 1.8 seconds is quite a bit of time. A standing ovation from the 17,000 at McNichols Arena. The young Denver Nuggets pour it on down the stretch in the first half and take a 9-point lead over Manute Bol and Charles Barkley in the statistic of the night.
It really, we'll categorize it as that. I don't think it's going to knock your socks off. 1987-88 season. Remember when the Nuggets made that huge run at the end, winning something like 19 out of their last 21 games to capture the Midwest Division Championship? The last time there were 3 straight sellouts here in McNichols Arena.
It was a quiet 15 points for Charles Barkley in the first half. He had 21 against the Nuggets in game number 1. Remember last year, Barkley ate up Denver, 41 points in one game, 40 in the next. Nuggets are on the road Thursday at Golden State. 8:30 start, which you'll be able to see on Channel 2. And then back home Saturday against those Orlando Magic, who tonight lost their 15th straight. Mutombo fadeaway. And there's Anderson ripping it down and scoring. Cadillac, who had a ice-cold first quarter from the floor, 1 of 7. The Nuggets now have scored 11 straight points. The last 9 of the first half, and now the first 2 of the second. It's been 3 minutes since the Sixers have scored a point. It appeared as if it was all ball, and they call it on Mutombo. That is a second. Let's take a closer look.
And this is a terrible shot by Shackelford. Again, he's falling away, and the officials take him off the hook, put him on the free throw line. This might be the worst shot of the evening so far right there.
That angle did not appear to be a foul. Shackelford, who is 14 of 17 from the foul line. You remember when he left the Nets and went to Italy, he left in wake of numerous off-court problems. He denied collegiate point-shaving charge, and the case was eventually dropped. Nothing substantiated, but now he has returned to the NBA with a big $1.3 million contract. Williams way off the mark. He is on the end line.
And that 1.3, that's not the total of the contract. That's per season.
Per season. That is correct, sir.
Jimmy Lynam complaining during this break in the action to Greg Willard that one of his players was held.
First minute of play of the second half. Nuggets looking to make it 2 in a row. Boston and Philadelphia. Macon is in. Oh, they're going to give him the basket. Now, who will they give the basket? Is it to Macon or Mutombo?
They got to give it to Mutombo because
looked like he was over the cylinder.
Yeah, if Dikembe didn't get the basket, it was offensive goaltending.
Six on the shot clock. Barkley fakes the 3. Shackelford misses the dunk. Reggie Williams now bullets it ahead to Garland. Macon was calling for the ball, but Garland saw a theme. Will they get the goaltend?
Yeah, that's got to be a goaltend. It's continuation. If the shot goes, it counts. Let's take another look at it. And Shackelford pins the ball. Again, no dribble after the call. Shackelford
Definitely.
pins the ball to the backboard. That has got to be defensive goaltending.
Well, George Solifer calls the foul. And Garland will have one more. Garland is now up to 84% from the foul line. Nuggets opening this one up. Nuggets make a quick run here in the early part of the second half, and it could be over in a hurry.
Al, we don't talk enough about Winston Garland. He was brought in here solely as a backup point guard, and it's been his team to run almost since the beginning of the regular season, and he's done a pretty nice job.
Steadying influence on the young Denver Nuggets. Dawkins hits. We have heard very little from Hersey Hawkins tonight. He has one field goal. Nuggets by 12. Anderson. A pass to himself, says Eddie Rush. Did that ball hit the backboard?
No, he's going to say it didn't hit anything, and so that's a travel. Cadillac threw the ball up. It didn't hit anything, and he caught it on the other side. See if we can see it here. Macon drops the ball into Craig. And up over his head.
Looked like it hit the backboard.
It did hit the backboard. That wasn't a travel.
Shackelford gets it again. Mutombo wrestled away by Gilliam. And that was Williams who takes it away.
And the Nuggets continue their aggressive style on the defense. 76ers starting to walk through the motions a little bit here.
And this is where the Nuggets have the opportunity to pour it on, especially if Barkley all of a sudden becomes disinterested because of the play of his teammates. Hawkins nails his second field goal. The Nuggets lead is 10. Williams beats his man. And a beautiful pinpoint pass. 9 points now for Reggie Williams. Nuggets lead it by a dozen with 3 minutes into the second half. Williams with the 9 points. He already has double figures rebounds. 10 his season high. In the crowd's Anderson. Here's Williams taking on two 76ers. The trailer is Garland down the lane. Swish. And Jim Lynam has seen it up. The Nuggets burst out to a 14-point lead over the Philadelphia 76ers, looking for the sweep in the two-game season series. Shackelford 1 of 8 from the field, 3 points. He's calling for the ball against Mutombo. Barkley's got to bring this team back, and there is Shackelford. So those two players exchange assists, and very quickly off the timeout, 76ers come back in a spirited manner and score two quick ones inside. Now the double team at Mutombo, and the steal by Barkley. Macon is going for Barkley, and a quick 6 points for the Sixers.
Charles Barkley that time an excellent job of shooting the gap defensively. He knew exactly where Mutombo was going, and Paul Westhead counters with a timeout right here. 76ers have scored 6 straight since that man, Jimmy Lynam, took his timeout.
Lynam firing his team up the last timeout, but Charles Barkley taking over. He has 2 field goals and an assist in the 6 points. Macon went for the swipe. Barkley has seen it all as he squeezes in for the hoop. He is now 7 of 9 from the field, 5 of 6 from the foul line, 19.
See right there, Macon took a swipe, and you could tell by the smile on Barkley's face, he thought he got hit by Macon when Macon went by.
Macon, a rookie, but smart enough not to get in front of the charging Charles Barkley. Well, Reggie Williams, last couple of times down, has had opportunities. He scored on one, but missed a couple of on-the-run layups. Garland, he loses, scrambles to get it back. And Anderson loses here. The Sixers busting out again, trying to make it 8 points in a row. Anderson and Mutombo wrestles it in for rebound number 13. Risky pass by Garland, but it gets through. And Anderson connects. Big basket there for the Nuggets. Gives them a 10-point lead instead of providing an opportunity for the Sixers to come down and cut it down to 6. Hawkins. Anderson over the back of Shackelford. Nice tip by Mutombo. Nuggets on the run. One bounce to Macon. He tries and misses. And Williams throws it away, and Macon annoyed at himself. He thought he was past that stage in the beginning of the year, really struggling, and he was in home free.
And Reggie Williams has a couple of words of advice for the rookie. He said, take it to the goal and shoot it. Don't worry about getting fouled.
Nuggets still with a 10-point lead. 6:15 left in the third quarter. Dawkins trying to make it happen. Anderson. It is loose. The other Anderson to Garland with Barkley chasing. And this time Macon takes the advice of Reggie Williams. And it's 10 points for Mark Macon.
And this has been amazing, Al, the way we've gone back and forth, and each team's runs have been started with their defense.
33-year-old Ron Anderson, the sixth man. Shackelford, and he nails that one. So Charles Shackelford apparently with some bag of tricks. Again, the Nuggets by 10. Shackelford leaning on Mutombo. 5.5 left in the first, or rather the third period. Shot clock has 6 seconds. Williams. And it'll be the Nuggets ball with just 2 seconds to shoot. Paul Westhead making the change. Marcus Liberty comes off the bench. And Cadillac Anderson will get a rest. Anderson, 6 points, 8 rebounds. Liberty helps spark the Nuggets late in the first half. Fourth shot. Garland keeps it alive, and Garland will go to the line.
And the Nuggets got a huge break right there because the 24-second clock went off. And I guess the ball hit the side of the backboard and reset the clock. See if we can take another look at it. Fourth shot by Reggie. He knew he had 2 seconds to get it off, and barely almost went behind the backboard. And the Nuggets are going to get 2 free throws out of the play.
Winston Garland right on the play. Boston, he gets 6 of 7 from the foul line, and he's looking to make it 4 of 4 tonight. Well, the Nuggets do get a bonus point, though, out of that sequence, and lead it now by 11. Down to 5 minutes on the nose remaining in the third period. Johnny Dawkins, who was a first-round draft pick of San Antonio, and he winds up there all alone.
Nuggets a little too aggressive that time. Winston Garland knocking the rebound away from Mutombo, heading to the waiting arms of Johnny Dawkins.
Shackelford has the 4 fouls, and Mutombo plows in, and he has 20 tonight. His pro-high 28 points came earlier in the season against Utah.
And Al, I think sometimes the Nuggets forget about the Dikembe and go much too long without getting him involved in the offense. Shackelford with 4 fouls. They ought to go to Dikembe every time.
Mutombo sitting there and waiting. Macon pointing to the foot. He says, I haven't moved. I'm not out of bounds.
And you see Paul Westhead in the background. He's not exactly enamored with the call either. Nice block by Dikembe. Let's see if Mark...
Unless the ball, no, ball didn't go out of bounds. Can't see from there. So Philadelphia gets it back. They have 2 seconds to shoot. Mutombo just rushes it away from Manute Bol, just standing there. Bol never known for his aggressiveness. And Macon starting to become known for his aggressiveness. Again, goes right at Bol and beats him.
Well, the problem the 76ers have is they can bring Manute in, and he might help out defensively, but they're basically playing 4 against 5 when they're on the offensive end.
Nuggets get the lead back up to 13. 5 to shoot. And Dawkins nails it with the left hand. It's a dozen now for Dawkins. 3.5 left in the third period. Nuggets 73 and the Sixers 62. Garland needs help. Mutombo facing Bol. Crowd urging him to shoot. 6 on the shot clock. Liberty 2 seconds to shoot.
And right there, Al, is what the Nuggets have to do more of. They move the ball from one side to the other. Couple of good ball fakes, good passes, and a wide open jumper for Liberty.
7 points now for Marcus Liberty off the bench. The crowd into this one. Hawkins darts inside, and Mutombo made him change that shot. Now it is Garland huffing and puffing as he brings it across. Mutombo, the trailer, buries it over Bol. And the timing is perfect. The timeout is called. And after that play, allowing this crowd to explode.
Dikembe does a good job running the court. You see him the trailer on the fast break, and he throws it down. And this
Barkley taking it in, double team. The Nuggets really active defensively now. Spirited performances once again by Macon, and also Marcus Liberty coming off the bench.
Yeah, Marcus getting the minutes Joe Wolf normally would get. Wolf out with the bruised calf, and right there Barkley. Nice job of getting Liberty up in the air and drawing the foul. Barkley going back to the free throw line. He's 5 of 6 there so far tonight. Oh!
And that gives the fans another opportunity to go wild.
He shot a 14-footer from the free throw line.
And got his gauge for the second shot. 20 points tonight for Charles Barkley, but it still leaves the 76ers 14 points behind. 2 minutes to go.
Half-court zone press by the 76ers. That's exactly what you do. Be aggressive. Walker hits the jumper.
The Nuggets are turning the Sixers inside out, finding the open man, moving the ball around, whipping it around. And the lead is up to 16 for the Nuggets, looking as good as ever this season. Bol tries to make the move and dribbles it off the foot.
Well, the Nuggets on the night after Christmas, Al, kind of shot themselves in the foot with their first of the 3 straight sellouts. Didn't play very well against the Golden State Warriors, but Saturday night against Boston and this performance tonight, and I think you're going to start seeing McNichols Arena rocking again.
A minute and a half to go in the third quarter. Jackson in. Tries to thread the needle to a cutting Walter Davis.
You know, you have to take this rebuilding one step at a time, and I think the first step is to reestablish dominance here in McNichols Arena. The Nuggets on their way to that. They're 9 of 6. A win tonight would make them 10 and 6 here. Next step would be winning on the road.
Jackson for 3. Davis whips it to Liberty over Bol. And now it's Mitchell Wiggins with 2 Nuggets back, and it counts. The veteran Wiggins takes it to the hole, and he draws the foul, gets the basket. It has a 3-point opportunity.
And Mitchell Wiggins doesn't even slow up when he gets to Chris Jackson, and I didn't see any foul there. If anything, the contact was caused by Mitchell Wiggins kicking his leg out, but nonetheless, he'll have a chance for the 3-point opportunity.
And they get the bounce.
The 4-point opportunity.
Jackson takes it, and he is running and shooting. Liberty gets the hand in there. Now it's the Sixers' turn again. Barkley. Mark Macon wraps it up.
And Mark learned by that mistake he made in the first half when Barkley got the 3-point play against him. This time, he's going to make darn sure that Charles isn't able to get the shot off, and he wraps him up and then some.
Barkley still looking for the continuation there. 4th foul on Macon, who's got to know Barkley better than any Nugget. Barkley now struggling from the foul line. When Macon was starring at Temple, you could be sure he saw enough of Charles Barkley personally at the Spectrum and on television. Macon now leads, and he gets a nice hand from the crowd, replaced by Todd Lichty. Barkley misses the 2 from the foul line. 79-65, Nuggets with a lead with the ball, and there's a time remaining in the third quarter. It has been a constant roar here at the McNichols, one of the livelier crowds of the year, really enjoying this, and they light it up as Chris Jackson lights it up again. 8 points for Jackson.
76ers are going to hold for one shot, but there's about 4 seconds difference between the game clock and the shot clock.
Looking for Anderson. Lichty, there's time, and he just can't get control. Good thinking by Lichty, poking it ahead to Jackson, but he's called for traveling. Just could not get the handle, and it leaves Jimmy Lynam's Sixers with a 2.5 seconds, and they'll inbound at midcourt.
I don't know why they would get the ball in midcourt. Lichty traveled at the top of the key.
Barkley just can't find it here in the third period, and a standing ovation for the Denver Nuggets, who came into the third quarter leading by 9, and they go out.
Third quarter took a big lead. I don't want to take all the credit, but I think when I stuck my tongue out and showed him my championship ring from the Pistons, Barkley had no concentration after that, so I will take the credit for that air ball.
Scott Hastings on the injured list, but doing everything he can to help the Nuggets here tonight.
And that's kind of been Scott's career defensively, showing people his championship rings.
Anderson starts it off for the 76ers. They have a large Rocky Mountain to climb, heading into this fourth quarter, trailing by 16. The Nuggets with Jackson and Lichty, Liberty, Davis, and Anderson. A small lineup for the Nuggets. George Tolliver says, hold it right there. There was a foul on Ron Anderson. His first. So the Nuggets tonight without Joe Wolf, sprained calf muscle. The only big man on the bench suited up is Anthony Cook, and he has drawn a goose egg in time tonight. And against the Sixers, Paul Westhead can get away with a smaller lineup. Lichty over Wiggins. There's Davis with a pass to the basket.
And a good job by Cadillac Anderson, who had Armand Gilliam on his back and kept the defense from getting to Walter while he shot that layup.
Greg Grant in the backcourt. Here's Anderson from long distance. Run down by Walter Davis into the hands of Jackson.
Ron Anderson is a streak shooter. He can shoot you in or he can shoot you out. So far tonight, he's 2 of 7.
Anderson walks by Armand Gilliam. And Cadillac Anderson now up to 8 points to go along with his 9 rebounds. Jimmy Lynam says this isn't the way to get back in the game, and time is running out. 10:41 left in the fourth quarter. Timeout, Philly. But his pass goes awry with 10.5 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. Nuggets looking for a 20-point lead. I'm trying to think if they've ever led anybody by 20 points this year. Their biggest margin of victory is 14 points against Phoenix here in McNichols when they snapped the Suns' 9-game win streak.
Well, I think you can hold on because I think that this margin is just going to grow larger and larger. I think the 76ers have, for all intent and purposes, packed it in.
Charles Barkley remains on the floor with Gilliam, Anderson, Wiggins, and Grant. Here's a steal by Anderson. Grant, and Lichty stays right there with charging Charles.
Well, Greg Grant hasn't been with this team long, but he knows who to drop it to on the fast break. He gets it to Sir Charles. Todd really got up in the air well right there, but the foul on Lichty. And much to the delight of the McNichols crowd, Charles Barkley back at the free throw line. Barkley
has now missed his last 4 out of 5 from the foul line. We wonder if Scott Hastings is flashing that ring right now. .21 points for Barkley. And it goes. Marcus Liberty, who was completely beaten on the play. He tried to make sure Wiggins didn't score, but Wiggins already was upstairs when he fouled him.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. This is one where you just let him go, lay it in, and take the ball to the other end. You compound the problem by fouling Wiggins in a situation like that, and Marcus knows it right there.
85-71 Nuggets, 9.5 to go. One thing going for the 76ers right now is there is enough time for them to come back, and Paul Westhead knows that, so he has called a timeout and does not want his Nuggets to relent. Timeout at McNichols. Dan, what are you giving?
That's my only choice from 1 to 10. I was coming up with negative numbers.
Shades of the old New York Net uniforms of the ABA.
The New Jersey Americans.
Look at the job the Nuggets are doing on the boards. No contest. And so Jimmy Lynam has inserted Manute Bol back in the lineup. Sixers trying to make a mini run. They're down by 18. Now it's a 14-point game. Now the Sixers could do a little more damage. A little over 9 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. They've put the ball in the hands of Greg Grant. Starting guards, Johnny Dawkins and Hersey Hawkins on the bench. And Mitch Wiggins in double figures with 11. He has played 15 games for the Sixers this year, has a high of 23. And Jackson comes right back, and he's in double figures with 10. 87-73, the Nuggets by 14. Barkley is 21 to lead the Sixers. Mutombo 22 for the Nuggets, along with 14 rebounds. Anderson sneaks in and brings it out. The shot clock reset. He's looking for his own shot. He said, hey, I got the offensive rebound. I'm going to take the shot. Gilliam, though, cannot hold on. Armin Gilliam, invisible tonight. 5 points. Garland now comes in for Jackson.
And Cadillac Anderson in for Marcus Liberty.
Lichty goes baseline and turns into a stuff by Mutombo. Lichty ran out of room, looked up, and he said, whoops, there's Manute. Although, as you have seen with the kamikaze kid, Todd Lichty, he'll drive up against anybody, but it turned out to lead to the easy 2 points by Mutombo, who's now approaching his pro high. Grant with 6 points. The Nuggets lead is 14.
Right now, Greg Grant and Mitchell Wiggins are the two 76ers doing the most damage.
They have accounted for 17 points. Hawkins and Dawkins for 19. Lichty makes the fake. There he is against Bol again. Todd Lichty takes it to the hoop. And the Nuggets by 16. It goes against Lichty. Third personal foul. Todd Lichty, who plays every square of the floor. And the Nuggets hoping that all of the injuries for Todd Lichty are now behind him. Really giving that knee a pretty big test tonight.
Well, he's worked awfully hard in his rehabilitation after every injury. You have to really be pulling for a kid like Todd Lichty.
And there's Lichty slapping it away. 7 minutes on the nose in the fourth quarter. Nuggets by 16 over the Sixers. The quick move by Grant. And Garland says no. Greg Willard says foul. And from our vantage point, it just looked like Grant blew by him.
Well, let's take another look at it. Greg Grant with a quick move to the baseline. I don't know. That's a pretty picky call, especially by NBA standards. But personal foul number 4 on Winston Garland.
Nuggets beat the 76ers at the Spectrum by 10. Philadelphia trying to come back now with Barkley on the bench. Here's Williams going forward and finger rolls. He's in double figures with the 11. The Nuggets, who have 7 players who average in double figures. 4 of them are there tonight, and another 3 are hovering around just about a basket away. Mitch Wiggins is open. He slides in unimpeded. 13 now for Williams. 6 minutes left in the 4th quarter, and George Tolliver with a quick whistle there and a foul against Mitchell Wiggins. Barkley reinserted. Wiggins goes out. 13 points. He's averaging 5 a game.
I don't know why he would take Wiggins and Grant out of the game. Maybe they're just exhausted, but they've done a much better job tonight on the floor than Dawkins and Hawkins.
And here comes Barkley. Williams stops him. So the Nuggets really putting the wraps on a driving Charles Barkley tonight, and would rather Barkley play that adventure out at the foul line.
Well, that's exactly what happens. Reggie says, I'm going to grab on here and hold for a while. I'm going to make Sir Charles earn it from the line rather than give him an easy layup.
The crowd asking for another air ball. Mutombo, the quick hands. Williams shovels to Anderson. And it'll stay right there.
Jimmy Lynam wants goaltending down at the far end, but Ed Rush says no. Nuggets with a fresh 24-second clock to work with.
Almost a steal by Lynam.
Well, we saw Del Harris take a charge last year.
So Jackson reinserted very quickly. Garland with the 4 fouls comes out. Now it's 1-on-1. Jackson and Dawkins. Fade away. Off the glass. Mutombo rips down. Rebound number 16. He had 17 Saturday against the Celtics. Mutombo raises his hand to Jackson. Take your time. Down to 5 minutes in the game. Jackson fires. Kind of have the feeling that that one was made for Jackson, and he has a dozen points.
Chris on his point a minute standard that he's had the last 2 games.
But 14 points in 15 minutes in each of the last 2 games. Shackelford now opening up the offense. Jackson tonight has 12 points. We do not have the official minute total. It certainly is not 20 at 12 minutes of play coming into this four. Barkley from downtown scores a 3-pointer. 25 tonight for Barkley. 95-83. And it reduces the Nuggets lead to a dozen. They've led by as many as 18 points. But right now we are down to 4 minutes left in the game. Williams releases. Got it. 13 tonight for Reggie Williams. And the Nuggets the last 2 games, Boston and Philly, sharing the offense, not relying on Williams, and still being in very good shape. Barkley, he'll think about a 3 again. Lickney, the stutter step. Jackson wide open. Flick of the wrist, and that one's short. Oh, Mutombo pushed across the lane, no foul. We'll have to see if we could dig into that one, see exactly what happened. 3 minutes, 10 seconds left. And Hawkins on the run. That is only the 4th field goal for Hawkins tonight. 4 of 12 from the field, 9 points for Percy Hawkins, who averages 21 a game, 19th best in the NBA. Mutombo, the double team, slapped away, and Philly gets it. It's off from Mutombo, out of bounds. Several changes being made for the Nuggets. Marcus Liberty is back in, some fresh legs. Mark Macon, and the first appearance not only of the night but of this 4-game homestand for Anthony Cook, who has become a forgotten man on the bench. Coming back after missing the first few weeks. His shoulder injury. Down to 2.5 minutes ago. Liberty against Barkley. There's Mutombo coming to help out. Michael Ansley is checked in. Third-year man from Alabama. Played his first 2 years with Orlando. Started this season in the CBA. Was the CBA's leading scorer, 35 points a game, and picked up by the 76ers 3 weeks ago.
Foul against Charles Shackelford. That's going to be his 5th, but only the team foul number 3 on the 76ers. So no free throws here. I don't know why they were lined up at the free throw line. Ooh, they're going to say that Chris Jackson was shooting.
Chris has no arguments. He's towing that foul line.
I can't believe this. They're saying that he was in the act of shooting. Let's take another look at it. Nuggets, I think, got a big break there. Lynham is really upset. Jackson gets 2 free throws, even though Nuggets not in the penalty situation.
Jackson hit the first. And there a rare miss at the foul line for Chris Jackson. Jackson for the season has only missed 5 foul shots in 48 attempts. 2:10 left. And the Nuggets nursing that 11-point lead. 2 minutes and 10 seconds. And an 11-point deficit against the Denver Nuggets. The Nuggets, this is their 28th game of the season. They have only hit 100 or more on 13 occasions. They should get it tonight. And keeping the 76ers to 87 at the moment. They held the Celtics to 90. A complete reversal from last year's fortunes of offense and defense.
And Charles Shackelford's evening is over. His 6th personal foul, and he makes his way. Well, so far it's just to the opposite end of the floor. Now he veers off toward the 76er bench, and Ron Anderson checks in.
9 points, 7 rebounds for Shackelford. No need for Manute Bol right now. Sixers need the offensive power. Nuggets Thursday night at Golden State. 8:30 start. You can see it on Channel 2, and then back here to McNichols Arena on Saturday against the Orlando Magic. No foul there, and Mutombo, instead of getting the basket on the first shot, now gets a rebound and a basket.
He said, let me pick up another offensive rebound here.
26 points, 17 boards from Mutombo after 16 points and 17 rebounds against the Celtics. Monster numbers by the Nugget rookie. Here's the slap away by the other rookie, Mark Macon. And Chris Jackson is nailed with a personal foul for reaching in his 2nd personal foul. Todd Lichty is back in. And with 1:28 to go, high atop McNichols Arena on the scoreboard, the fat lady making her appearance. As you see the numbers on the board, Fat lady figuring the Sixers can't score 13 points in 1:28.
Well, they can if the Nuggets keep stopping the clock. Right now, the clock, an ally of the Denver Nuggets, and you hate to see him pick up a personal foul 25 feet from the basket, give the 76ers a chance to knock 2 points off of the lead without the clock moving.
Former Louisville Cardinal Kenny Payne, number 21 for the Sixers, coming in. And that is equated as the fat lady singing in Philadelphia. Kenny Payne getting into a game.
You're awful.
As Charles Barkley said, I'm not controversial, I'm just honest. All right, Macon on the draw. 14 now for the hard driving Nugget rookie Mark Macon, who has put together some impressive showing on this homestand. Congestion inside. Anthony Cook is called for the foul.
And we'll take another look at it as Anthony Cook picks up a personal foul. Watch Chris Jackson trying to charge. He's gonna, he almost had a chance to take 2 charges.
So like bumper pullers, bumped right into the play. Hersey Hawkins, who did a Houdini act tonight, really disappeared on the floor. Now trying to add some points in the conclusion of this game. I tell you, Charles Barkley's quotes tonight will probably be priceless in the locker room following the ball game. Anthony Cook the shot. Charles, of course, who serves as the conscience for this team. Anderson, Liberty trying to fall away, but Ron Anderson has it. Anderson is 3 of 9 from the floor. Hawkins 4 of 12. Some of the shooting woes. Down to 36 seconds. Gilliam is 2 of 9.
Well, that's been something that has haunted the 76ers all year. Normally a good shooting team, just 46%. As Chris Jackson puts 2 more points on the board. And another outstanding shooting performance by Jackson.
Anderson tries to come back with 3. And the final 15 seconds, the Nuggets will make it 2 in a row over Eastern teams, the Boston Celtics and the Philadelphia 76ers. Third straight sellout. Really enjoyed this one. Macon tries for 3, and he nails it. Take that, Philadelphia, says Mark Macon. Sixers certainly would not appreciate that, but Macon's not worried. He won't see the Sixers until next year. Smiles all around. Mark Macon on this homestand has averaged 17 points a game, and that 3 gives him 17. The biggest smile belongs to Dikembe Mutombo. 26 points, 17 rebounds, as the Nuggets rookies strike again for the 2nd straight game. 109-93. That's the widest margin of victory for the Nuggets this year. And now it's time for the Schick play of the game, brought to you by Schick Tracer, the only razor which flexes to trace every curve on your face. Dikembe Mutombo, this one you'll probably see on the highlight reels all across the country. The trailer, Mutombo soaring to the hoop and smacking it home. And that is the Schick Tracer play of the game. The Nuggets with a victory, and they sweep the 76ers this year, 2-0.
Everybody was really happy the way we was getting close to the New Year's Eve, and everybody want to make everybody happy because there are many people here in Denver. They have so many family came from our town visiting them for Christmas and for New Year's Eve. So we want to make all these people happy. That's why we came really strong to play these 4 games, really trying to win all of them.
Well, I think, and I said earlier on the broadcast, the first thing that you have to do as a young team building and getting better is establish a home court advantage. Don't let teams come in here and win on your home court.
Yeah, that's right, really what you're saying. And that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to build this franchise. As I told you guys in the beginning of the season, we're trying to build this franchise, and I think we need to continue to work really hard and make all of our fans happy so we can come every time they see us.
You continue to put up big numbers night after night, playing a lot of minutes. Are you starting to wear down? Because we're getting to the point now where you're playing more games than you're used to in a college season.
Yeah, you know, the things I'm working on, because I got so many goals I want to achieve. And the first goal, I want to be a Rookie of the Year. And being a Rookie of the Year, I think it will not be easy. It's not just, you're going to be sitting home and the people going for it. It's something you got to come every night and work really hard and they're dying for loose ball and doing all of these things so you will get all of this credit. That's the thing I'm working on. And my second goal is if I can make an all-star game, I think that I will be happy for the rest of my life.
There was a highlight in tonight's game that's going to be shown all over this country. You trailing the fast break and then dunking on Manute Bol. How do you get that high in the air to dunk over a man 7'7"?
I told Coach Thompson and I told a lot of people who called me today and Bill Russell who called me today also. I told him I said, I got something for Manute tonight. So that's really, I came down and I give him a dunk on it.
Well, it's fun to win at home. Now it's back on the road. Good luck at Golden State.